¿Cómo tú te sientes? Nada.
Dale un poquito más fuerte.
¿Más fuerte?
Sí,
And you're holding it, like, so she shouldn't have to hold it.
así.
El brazo para que ella no tenga que subir.
Now again,
Con un poquito más de crema.
Uno más.
you should feel free to say, that's too much pressure. Or, you know what, I'm one of those people who doesn't like my feet to be touched. Or, I'm loving what you're doing and the room's a little cold. Can you give me a blanket? And so if you, as the person giving the massage, have any sense that those thoughts might be running through the mind of the person you're trying to give comfort and ease and pleasure to, ask the question.
I want you to feel comfortable helping me, you know, with my treatment. You know, I want you to feel comfortable, but not like pushy like that.
In addition to positioning and communicating with each other, the caregiver's state of mind affects how touch and massage are received. The participants learn that it's important for the caregiver to have the right mental attitude when using touch.
And by attitude, we mean a frame of mind. And there's a very simple frame of mind that we could call loving kindness, which is simply feeling in touch with those feelings of love or kindness that we have toward this person that we want to help. And we want those feelings to come through our hands. You know how it feels if someone touches you who is in a state of agitation or anger or distress somehow. You can feel that through their hands. And if someone touches you who's feeling love and kindness towards you, it feels very differently. So the frame of mind, the attitude that we have, comes through our hands.
It's also important for the caregiver to be focused or centered.
Centering is when you bring your attention to a place inside yourself. We may have a lot of things going on in our minds. We may have a lot of thoughts swirling around, a lot of anxieties or concerns, including concerns about our performance. But in the center, you can find a place of calm and peace where you can be completely present for this other person. So let's, right now, just do this for a few moments. Put yourself in a comfortable position. Find a posture that feels supportive. Many of you have been through the indignities of surgery and medical procedures that have not been very kind to your body. So this is a chance to sit in a way in which you feel a sense of dignity and self-respect, as if you're really caring for your body by the way that you sit. And if you're comfortable with your eyes being closed, then just let your eyes gently close. If you'd like your eyes to remain open, then you could focus on a point on the floor in front of you. And just bring your attention to your breath. We'll imagine that the breath is moving up and down through the center of your body. You might even imagine that there's a hollow pipe up and down through the center of your body, and you're able to breathe up and down through that center. And understand that it's entirely natural that your mind will continue swirling around with thoughts and feelings and judgments and images. But you can choose to continue focusing your attention on the breath. And it is in this state of being centered that you can feel compassion and loving kindness toward your loved one. And for the recipient, you too can use this centered state to feel feelings of compassion and loving kindness toward the caregiver. So let's take 2 more full, satisfying breaths, breathing in a way that feels good. Feel that center. And then let your eyes come open again and bring your attention back to the circle here.
Before you begin a session, be sure you are both well positioned. Talk together about what feels good and what doesn't, and prepare yourself mentally by centering. Make time for massage. Even just 5 or 10 minutes could be enough to make a real difference.
So relaxing.
As your confidence grows, you might give longer massages and develop a routine you look forward to together.
Many people are aware that their shoulders are tight or that their back is tight. Many of us think we have a special place that we carry our tension. And very few of us are aware of how tense our heads are, how tense our scalps are much of the time. So in fact, there are many, many little muscles in both the face and the scalp. And giving someone a head massage just turns out to be phenomenally relaxing. In the workshop, we offered people 6 different strokes to use on the head and on the face. What I'm going to show first is some ways to touch the head. And what I want to do for each of the caregivers is I want you to be able to feel what it feels like to receive this, so that you can just feel. When we say soft hands, what does that feel like? When we say move this way. So now I'm here, and I'm just quieting, and I'm just opening to Kwok, because right now he's going to be my whole world. Nothing else matters. And so I want to make contact gently. You don't want to rush in with a touch and surprise someone. And I'm going to hold his head in my hands, and I do that by coming under the neck. And then I just pull my hands back, and his head just comes right into my hands. There aren't so many times when we're adults when someone kind of holds our head and we let it go completely into another person. It's like when you're a baby, you get to do that. So you just give someone a moment to feel, what is that like? Sometimes I could sit for 5 or 10 minutes like this. There's so much communication happening that this is really enough. You know, he's got a whole world inside of him. You don't always have to do anything else. So what I'm making are circles. Just to let his scalp move around a little. When I slow down like I just did, and there's a little bit of pressure, you can see the skin of the forehead move, and it just gives a nice little stretch. You have hundreds of tiny muscles in there, and they just get to let go a little when you go very slowly.
Are you using the palm or the fingers?
More like the fingers.
Yeah.
We call it a hand sandwich. a towel to flat your hand. And go to the person's shoulders, your partner's shoulders. Flat. The ear circles behind. You can see the ears move in circles as you do these circles.
And now I'm doing little circles. There's the bone behind the ear. Sometimes it's good to do that. Muscles from the scalp, they attach there, and then you can relax them if you just do that. Like that. And you can do little circles on the back also. I'm doing underneath the ear.
Need to press on it a little bit.
It is a little bit of a press. Yeah. And then the last thing I'm going to do is a little bit of ear. And sometimes you pull up. And it's just to do it kind of slow and steady. It's not a jerk, it's just a tug.
And then gentle tugs on the lobes, and you'll notice I've got a little finger sandwich there. You pull the lobes just gently down. It's not these little tiny pointy things pulling at the ears, but really the full finger supporting it against the thumb.
So, are you ready to work on your people? It's your turn. Yeah. So, Bing, is it okay to take your shoes off? Yeah? Yeah. Perfect. So you saw what we did with Bing to get, and so I don't know what Florence wants, but you would just check in to see what's going to make her absolutely comfortable.
Jenny just said that he should stop slowly and stop in the middle for a while. And he can stop.
Oh.
I think it was whatever you could get at.
It's relaxing, isn't it, hubby?
Kind of scooped under, and you can actually go in and
Like the head scratch.
traction or kind of move gently to the
The
side
hair pulleys.
towards you. Yeah.
Like that?
Let me see. I have to do it. It's hard for me. Well, there you go. Actually feel your spine.
That's a nice way of doing it. That's a good idea. Very nice.
Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, it's a little different. And then stop around the ears.
There you go. Nice. Beautiful.
And what's great is that he looks like he's at complete rest in your hands, almost like you were in the pool. And you can just hold that for a bit and breathe without anything else for a moment.
Yeah, it's nice.
I was trying to figure out exactly how.
A wonderful thing to do for someone you love is to give a neck massage. You know, the average adult human head weighs 12 pounds, which is really quite heavy. If you were carrying something in your hand all day that weighed 12 pounds, your hand would become tired and your arm would become tired. And that happens with our neck too. It's carrying around a big load. It's just wonderful to give it a rest.
The neck, a single hand, that curve here is going to be in total contact with the back of his neck, sort of down the center of it, which is right here. what I do is squeeze and pull. But you don't squeeze, when you're down to just a little bit of tissue, you stop squeezing because it would be pinchy out here. When you've got a lot in there, you squeeze and pull off. That's step one. Step two is to do it again with the other hand. And then to alternate. Like playing with the head.
Right, one after another, right. Yeah.
When you do something in rapid succession, it doesn't mean your hands are moving quickly, only that before one finishes, the next one starts. And you think of the spine as going back straight up the center of the neck to the head. This is the cervical spine here and here. And you think of actually pulling off in the direction of that spine, straight off the back of their head. You take a good grip on the neck where my hand has total contact. I don't want to add much to this stroke at all. She's taking her time with it. She's waiting after she grips to squeeze, and then she pulls off. Before one hand's left, she starts in with the other. Yeah, the only thing I would add is just a variation that's fun, but you've got the technique of the stroke wonderfully. Sometimes you can take the stroke and scoop it up, like you were scooping ice cream, or scoop it down, and see how I'm lifting these shoulder muscles a little bit? Scoop down, do a few of those, scoop up to the skull, do a few of those. So that's just a variation on what you're doing. Notice how she looks a little like she's scooping ice cream?
Am I doing it too hard? Nope.
I think that grunt meant no. Okay. Circles at the base of the skull is exactly that. There's this line from behind your ear to the other ear. We're going along that line, and I'm making little motions like this. Another thing you can do here is little circles at the base of the skull. Put a hand on top. And there's a place where you feel the neck stops, the soft part stops, and the skull starts. And you go circles right behind the ear. And you can draw a line of spirals or circles across the back to the other ear.
Just a little bit, because we know her neck is tense. She said that. So we're just going to grab it gently and pull. And I'm going to do it a few times, and I'm going to ask her how it is. So what do you think about the work on the neck? It's okay or not? That feels okay?
Feels fine.
Yeah.
Feels very good.
So it's really gentle. Usually it's good to work with two hands. Just makes you more stable. Gentle, together, yeah? Pull and in.
Yeah.
Gentle, more slowly even.
No
That
tan
feels
rápido.
slow to you, but still more slowly.
Yeah. No tan rápido y más lento.
Gentle. The back and shoulders are the areas that I think most people think of when they think of massage. When most people think, gee, I'd like a massage, they think I'd like somebody to rub my back, I'd like somebody to work on my shoulders. And so actually in many massages it does get more time than some of the other areas. And maybe for that reason it's one of the most important areas for us to think about making sure the person is in a really comfortable position as we begin.
Anytime someone is on a bed or a couch, having this, this pillow, can I uncross your legs, is that okay? Having this pillow kind of plumped up beneath the knees can be just wonderful. You can rest back. Shoulders, we have something we call cat's paws. We're simply leaning in with a gentle stretch, one shoulder and then the other. And that just gets a gentle stretch through here. Finding all the places that aren't bony, or if there's a port there not medical device-like and not bony, just to rest. And you'll notice, see, this is not an arm move here. If I were doing this just with my arms, I would be doing that. It probably doesn't even feel as satisfying at his end. I'm not sure about this, but it's really more lean, lean.
That's nicer.
Lean. Does it feel nicer? It feels a little more solid. When you do your arms, it's trembly sometimes because you're straining, so the touch is different. When you're just leaning, it's more sure and solid. That's cat's paws. These are really gentle, and I'm hinged at the hips. I'm leaning in rather than pushing like this and working my tense arms. I'm leaning. 1, 2, 1, 2.
That's terrific. Yeah. See, it's like dancing, you know, your rhythm. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Let's do the hand sandwich, both sides of him. Okay. Let's take your pillow and put it under your knee on that side, or on both knees, whatever's comfy, and get in nice and close. And lift up the shoulder. And you're kind of, you have your hands around his wing. Yeah.
Scapula.
What's that?
My scapula.
Yep, the scapula. And then this top hand just cups that circular, spherical top of the shoulder. That is lovely.
Does it feel the same on both sides?
As best it can. You have different size hands and different size. Different,
Yeah,
you have different frequencies
your
going.
hands look really rested.
It's good.
And breathe. They could breathe too if they want, but it's great if we do.
This is it?
Great. That's all. Okay. Isn't that funny? So simple. Sometimes you can do just a tiny pull, or just tiny, just to kind of move that wing around a little. But mostly it's just still. So if I were going to do my hand sandwich, Mary has a port going on right here on the right side, and I would come up under here and get her scapula in my hands, or her wing. And if I were doing this hand sandwich, I would probably do it just to the side of it. And you can let your breath, let your shoulder just down and sink into my hands, and your head can rest, and your